Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Get Your Popcorn. This is a special bonus episode. I've got director Andrew Koltuniuk, who just released his new film, Letting Go of Jack, which I had the pleasure of watching yesterday. So, Andrew, can you introduce yourself and tell the viewers a little bit about your film?
Absolutely. My name is Andrew Koltuniuk. I am a writer and director, and I wrote a film called Letting Go of Jack. It's a coming of age road trip movie following a young man, Brandon, who is escaping California to go to Colorado. And along the way, he breaks down, has to pick up a hitchhiker who's a fiery spirited young woman named Amber, and encounters other hitchhikers and breakdowns along the way.
How did you conceive of the idea? Did it come from personal experience or just came to you out of nowhere?
Are you familiar with, I don't remember her name, but her book is called The Artist's Way?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so it is a writer's, or like it's not just for writers, it's for artists, and it is like a self-led retreat that you do, and you can purchase her book on Amazon. It's been around for I think 20, 30 years, and you basically spend 10 weeks, and it's meant to unblock any creative blocks you have, just help you as an artist and as a writer figure out, how do I like dive deeper into my creativity. And so when the lockdown happened and COVID hit, I took that opportunity. I was like, well, I'm probably going to be not super busy for 10 weeks. So I figured I would jump into this. And one of the things that you do in this retreat is every day when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to do what is called morning pages. And you write 3 pages of absolutely anything that comes to your head, whether it is just writing for 3 pages. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. You just write whatever is in your brain to help like unblock. And over the course of these 10 weeks, these characters started like dancing across my pages. And I kind of just explored what they were, who they were, and where they were going. And then it also kind of, the story, as I got deeper into it, I realized my grandmother passed away in 19, and I was at school. I was nowhere near her at the time. And so I never felt like I quite got the opportunity to grieve. And so I think Brandon and Amber and Jack were kind of my way of letting go of my grandmother.
Yeah, it was I found the film really moving. I lost my friend in 2023, right at the end, right before Christmas. I really liked the message of the film and the processing of grief in different ways, and then the different representations of different types of grief I thought was really interesting through the two characters, like personal grief of a loss of someone who's still here, an anticipatory loss, and then a physical loss of someone. I loved how they intersected and then got to kind of understand those different elements of grief. I really enjoyed the film a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So the writing process, did you get that done in 10 weeks, or how long was the process for you, and sort of what was that journey like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Over the 10 weeks, I kind of discovered the characters, a little bit about the story. I remember this is going to be a little bit into spoiler territory for any viewers who haven't seen the movie. So, feel free to like jump forward 30 seconds if you don't want the spoilers. But I remember when I realized, oh my gosh, the car is his representation of his brother.
Mhm.
And that was like a light bulb moment for me and really kind of got me going. But after I wrote for 10 weeks, then I took the summer and the beginning of the fall to really break down the story and figure out what were the beats going to be, what was the story around these characters and kind of this core theme. And then I ended up writing the film over the fall, and I finished it in the fall of 2020. And then it was basically 2 years of going through and doing edits, sending it to my friends, having them rip it apart and be like, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, and why are they doing this? Tell me this. And I had to like stick in explanations for things, like someone was like, this doesn't make sense why the car can only go 45 miles an hour. Explain that to me. And so I did, and like wrote that in the script. We filmed it all, and then people were watching the movie and they were like, you don't need this, just cut it out. So full circle, it ended up getting cut out anyways, and I was like, okay, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't feel it needed to be explained. I was just like, it's an old car. I've been in old cars before,
Yeah.
so they can go too fast.
Exactly.
Was it always your specific vision for you to write and direct this film? Do you come from a screenwriting place or a directorial face, or how did that come to be?
Yeah, initially started out acting. I used to do a lot of stage acting in high school and late middle school, and then in college transitioned to being like, you know what, I wanted more control over the stuff I was working on, and I was like, as an actor, you kind of are given the script, and it's like you do this, whether you like it or not, and you just accept the job or you don't. And
Mhm.
so I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna try directing, and I don't think I was that great of an actor. I had a lot of fun doing it. I don't think I was particularly the best at it, and so I think my talents are better suited behind the camera. And so it came from a place of directing, and then as a director realizing that there are very few writers who just give their stuff to people who have never directed things before.
Yeah.
So writing then came from a place of, well, I'd like to have something to direct, and so the best place to do that is to learn how to write as well.
So do you do a lot of like blocking and storyboarding before you're directing, or do you kind of go off the cuff or
I'm trying to get more into storyboarding. That has been one of my goals for this year, is to practice my drawing skills so that I can be a better storyboard artist. For the most part, I have like, I do a lot of cinematography as well, so I kind of in my mind have the shots that I want to get. I'm just bad at drawing them.
yeah.
But I write out my shot list, and I'm like, I want these shots and these shots. And then like my DP on this, Charlie Blum, he's absolutely phenomenal. I've worked with him on a couple of shorts before. And so he and I just have like a really good working relationship where we have that kind of trust where I can just let him go, set up the camera and set up the shot while I'm talking to the actors and getting them ready to go, and trust that he's open and willing to any changes I want to make when I come back to that.
You said you were editing, so did you do the full edit by yourself or did you have an editor as well?
Yeah, I had one of my friends, Anthony Kuntz, he did the edit for me and then had to step out at the last, basically like the final stages of the film where we had already like cut the film, we were starting to get feedback on the film. He ended up moving, and it was like, you know what, I don't want to send a drive out to him and then have to send it back and forth.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of editing experience, so I just kind of took the film from that point. And so the finishing was me, but Anthony takes the credit for doing like the first edit of the film. He did the majority of the work.
Okay, awesome. So can you tell me about the release of the film? Where can we find it? And are you've done? I saw you got an award at a film festival. Are there any other film festivals that's going in? So tell us about where we can find it and where it's showing and things like that.
Absolutely. In January, we found out that the Hollywood Reel Independent Film Festival had accepted us to be a part of their film festival, and so we went there and found out that we had received Best Drama Feature, which was very exciting and very fun. Huge props to the film festival. It was great to be a part of that. And then we signed with distributor Seven Palms Entertainment, and they got us onto Amazon Prime Video, so we are available to watch on Amazon Prime Video in 11 countries. So please go check out the movie and watch it there.
That's awesome. It's so great to have independent film be available more. I mean, with the success of Nora last year being able to make it all the way to the very top, I feel like hopefully that's a good indication of like a swing we can start to make with independent film.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really interesting, like, you know how back in like the 60s and the 70s, the bar of entry was really like, oh, you have to just get film equipment, and if you can get film equipment, it's pretty easy to like get a film out there. And now the bar of entry is, oh, it's so easy to get film equipment, you could just shoot a movie on your iPhone. The bar of entry is, how do you get it places where people can watch it and then get people to watch the movie?
So you're part of like I was looking up. You're part of the guild, and you're like an independent film company. So can you tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing there, and about the organization together? Because I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So myself and several alumni from the school I went to, and one of our friends who is a business guy, decided to create a small independent production company together we called it the Guild. And we started off with the Russo brothers do a competition pretty much every year called the AGBO No Sleep Till Film Festival. And they give you a prompt, and you have 48 hours to write, produce, and edit a short film. And so we were like, you know what? This will be our first project. And we did that. It was a lot of fun. We got every person who was a part of the organization involved in it and made a short. And then over the next like year and a half, we were like, we should do a feature. And I happened to be the one who had just a feature ready to go at that time. And so they were like, let's just start with that one. So that has been the process for the past 2.5 years. Our goal is like, we want to tell good stories. We all love film. We love making film. And it's just, you focus on the story first. Like in our organization, story is king. Everything else is second to the story, because we have so many films that you have great visuals or you have great sound, and then but when you look at it, it's really just an empty shell. It's like a very pretty empty shell, and we don't want our films to be that way. So our focus has been work on the story first and let everything else come second. So Letting Go of Jack is our first film. We have another film that is in the works called Live, which is my producer and first assistant director, Rachel Workman. That is going to be her project. And we are currently trying to obtain funding for that. That's a much bigger production, probably like 10 times the budget of Letting Go of Jack. But that is a thriller following a streamer who gets kidnapped and is forced to stream, and then tries to basically alert his streamers that he's been kidnapped while that's happening. So it's a very interesting film. I've read the script. I'm a huge fan of it. And that's kind of the project we're in the works in right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of your guys' projects, and I'll keep an eye on that. And then definitely the next time stuff comes out, it's just me. I do everything here. I write, produce, edit, all of it. But I'd love to have you back on. And if any of your other cohorts want to come on as well, like, please, I want to promote your guys' stuff and independent film as much as possible. And just out of curiosity, just because like I'm a big like director, who are your guys? Like, who are your directing guys? Like, who's your favorites, your inspo?
Yeah, I think overall Spielberg, just because
Are you born in the 90s?
he's got born
Yeah.
in the 90s, he's got like one of the most broad
Yeah.
bodies of work that any director has. I think he's made some absolutely incredible things. Schindler's List, Jurassic Park. You can just name them.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. There's so many films that he's done that are incredible. I grew up watching some of like Hitchcock stuff, and I'm a huge fan of like his approach to film and how he just changed the medium. And right now, like the directors that are working right now that I think are my two favorite are Denis Villeneuve.
Mhm.
Like Dune 2 was my like Empire Strikes Back. Seeing
Yeah.
that in theaters, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna see a movie in theaters next that impacts me the way this film did. And then Christopher Nolan, like he's just an absolute master. I feel like he is single-handedly keeping the film genre alive and like thriving with his movies. So like those four are some of my favorite directors right now. And then I got to give a shout out to Shat Gerwig, because
Mhm.
I love Lady Bird. I really enjoyed Barbie, and so I'm excited to see what she does next.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to see like a female voice in there as well. But yeah, Spielberg, he's like my top guy. I've actually been doing a summer of Spielberg on my podcast. And I realized I have enough Spielberg stuff I can do the next 3 summers before I run out of things.
He like when you look at his stuff, it's like how does he do that?
You're like, how did you do Jaws and then The Color Purple and Schindler's List and then Catch Me? Like, it's crazy.
How did he do Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year?
Oh, it's a
That
wild
always
year.
blows my mind. Like having done one movie now, I'm like, I don't know how you do two in one year.
He was editing Jurassic Park via teleconference in Poland. Like, he would work on Schindler's List all day and then edit Jurassic Park at night.
My gosh, that's insane.
So I end all interviews that I have with people with my favorite Inside the Actors Studio questionnaire. I come primarily from an acting background, so it was like my dream to be on that stage, but he had directors as well. So this is James Lipton's questionnaire, originated by his hero, Bernard Pivot. So Andrew, what's your favorite word?
I think my favorite word is love. And I say that because I just was listening to a friend. He was giving like a little mini presentation on love. And one of the things he mentioned that really stood out to me is that so many problems in the world could be fixed if we all just loved more. And
Mm-hmm.
like that really hit home for me. So I would say right now, my favorite word is love.
That's a great one. What's your least favorite word?
I've been thinking about this and I don't have like a great answer. So I'm gonna say moist right now because it makes people uncomfortable.
That's
And
so
while I have grown past my discomfort with the word, it is a icky word.
yeah, that's so fair. What turns you on creatively?
What turns me on creatively is getting to see an artist talk about their work and get like super excited and passionate about it, and you can just feel the love that they put into something. And I think it really comes across when you're watching movies as well. I think about Godzilla minus one, and just like you can feel the love that was poured into that movie by the whole team creating it. So getting to see and hear artists talk about their art is one of my favorite things. It just like inspires me.
That's why I'm like a staunch Ed Wood defender. Like, even though Plan 9 from Outer Space is awful, because you're like, I just know that you loved every second of this in your little group. So I'm like, I defend this movie to the end. I can
Heck
feel
yes. Plan 9 is one of those, it is one of the movies of all time.
it.
But if you like watch it with the right group of people, it's a blast.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
What turns you off creatively?
AI. That like recently people who use generative AI for like photos and videos, that like makes my blood boil when I see it, and it is the biggest like creative turnoff for me right now.
Absolutely. What they're doing with the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere in Las Vegas is
Oh
a
my
travesty.
gosh. Like they're just actually ruining the film, and it that breaks my heart.
Yeah, me too. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of coffee brewing. I'm a huge coffee person,
Yeah,
and just like that sound is so comforting and just fills me with like great thoughts that I have associated with coffee.
I love that. What sound or noise do you hate?
The sound of a dog retching right before it vomits, because I've had more than one time where I've been like asleep and back in my parents' house and the dog starts, and you know you got about 10 seconds before the carpet is messed up. So nothing gets you out of bed faster in the morning.
Yeah. It's a great one. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I did a lot of horseback riding when I was in high school, and so I had a little bit of time to work with horses, and training horses is something that if we went, if everything like shut down and we went to a simpler time, I think I would go train horses.
Awesome. If what one would you not like to attempt?
Firefighting, just nothing about that appeals to me. I am so thankful for all of the men and women who are firefighters and who like protect us from that. And I hope I never have to step in your shoes.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would say what I would like to hear is welcome home.
Oh,
Like that would be great to hear.
that's beautiful. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. And everybody, please check out the movie. It's really, really great. I had the opportunity, like I said, to watch it yesterday, and it won't be my last viewing of the film, so I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for joining me and for giving me the opportunity to find a film I don't know if I would have found if you didn't reach out.
Thank you, Holly, for having me. It was great to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.